Hello and welcome to this quick tip tutorial. In this video, I'm going to go over how to randomize the assets that are used in copy to points. So for this example, I have created three simple assets. I have a cube, a sphere, and a cylinder, and I've merged them all together. And I want to copy these assets to the points of this grid. So to do this, let's create a copy to points node and connect them up. So at the moment, what you'll notice is it's copying all the assets to all the points. So the way we can fix this is by using this piece attribute here. So let's enable that. And instead of keeping the attribute as name, let's change the name to variant. And what we also want to do is assign a variant attribute to each of the assets. So if we middle mouse click on this merge here, we'll notice that it's taking 1,820 points. So if we were to assign a variant attribute, it would assign an attribute to all of those points. So instead of doing that, let's create a pack node and pack all three of these assets. So now if we middle mouse click here, you'll notice that there's just 3 points and it's treating each asset like its own point. Cool. So now let's create a wrangle node and connect that up here. And in the expression, we want to create a integer variant attribute, and we want that to be equal to the pp num attribute. So now if we have a look at the geometry spreadsheet, you notice that it's basically assigned the point number to this variant attribute. Cool. So this won't work just yet. It'll still be copying all the assets because we also need to assign an attribute to the points of the grid. So to do this, let's create a attrib adjust integer node and connect that up after the grid. And it already has the correct attribute name, which is why it's made a change here, but it's adding a constant value of 0. So basically it's just going to be assigning the asset that has a value of 0 assigned. So to change this, what we want to do is change the pattern to random, and we have this min and max value here. So we want to set the max value to 2, because the list starts at 0, so we have 0, 1, and 2, just like we see here on the assets. So now if we have a look at the copy to points node and have a look in the viewport, it is now assigning a random asset per point. So one issue with this that I like to change is that if I was to change the amount of assets I'm using, say if I disconnect this one, and now there are a bunch of points that are not being used. So to fix this, we can just change this max value to 1, but I like it to be a little bit smarter than that. So what we can do is change this max value to an expression. So if we type in points, so this function will get the number of points of any geometry we add here. So let's create a path to the attribute wrangle1 node. So let's select that here. And then what we want to do is go -1, because it's going to get a max value of 3 for the number of points, but we want the list to start at 0. So now if we have a look at the value, it should be in line with the number of assets we're using. So if I reconnect this, it's automatically going to change. And there we go. Now we have assets randomly assigned to the points. And one last thing I want to do is just fix the orientation. So let's create a transform node. And this happens because the copy to points node will align the y-axis of our assets to the z-axis of the points. So to fix this, we can just add a 90-degree rotation on the x-axis of all of the assets. Awesome. If you'd like to change which asset is being used on each point, what you can do is change the seed value on the attribute adjust integer node, and you can just easily change that down here. And that concludes this quick tip tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you've learned something new. If you'd like to see some more from me in the future, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.